Thank you so much for joining us today. Happy Thursday. I hope everybody is excited. We are getting closer to the weekend. It is time to keep that momentum going, though, because the week isn't over yet. So I'm so excited to be here with my co host, Eric. We're going to be talking about the benefits of joining a mastermind. So I'm sure we've got great points that we want to share with you, but also you may have some insight. Maybe you have a success story of some sort that you would love to share with the group. We would love to hear all about it. But before we get into our conversation, I want to start by introducing myself. I am Lachelle Atkins, also known as America's Supermom. I'm the mother of 15 children. So, yes, that little headline on the screen is correct. I have 15 children and I'm a vitality coach. I help you to navigate through the chaos and overwhelm of everyday life and transform it into clarity and confidence with a smile. So, I'm excited to be here. I think this topic is amazing. I love masterminds. And before we get into more of that, I want to give the mic over to you, Eric. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to speak about this topic today, for sure. So let me just introduce myself. My name is Eric F. King, and I'm a sales and leadership coach. So I help entrepreneurs triple their sales and increase their income without being pushy or sleazy or salesy. That's my forte. I've been doing it for over 20 years. But I've also had a lot of experience with masterminds, and they
Mhm.
have literally changed my life. That's why I'm so excited to share this information with everybody today.
Love that. And, I think we just need to dive right in. So
Okay.
I don't know if, so just in your experience, what is just the definition of a mastermind? Because I think some people hear the term, it's thrown around a lot, but what is the definition?
Yeah, so I would call a masterminds a peer-to-peer group that come together to help each other achieve their goals. Okay, and the benefit of it is you have the collective know-how, the collective skills and abilities of everybody in the mastermind to achieve your specific goals. And there's that's amazing because a lot of people go through business and in life trying to figure it out, right? We're taught in school that you you learn, you take the test, you can't talk to anybody, you can't collaborate, right? And then
Mhm,
when we get out of school, we do the same things. We just
mhm.
we're trying to learn, we're trying to be the best by ourselves, not knowing that masterminds accelerate your success. They really do.
Mm. Now, you brought up some good points about coming together as a team, helping each other, but how do you nurture that trust? Because I think, I came from a background of being a high achiever, and it was always this competitiveness that I had. This was my depression and before depression years, I say. I've learned something totally different now, but for many people, it's I got to do it the right way. I don't want to share my intellectual property with other people, fearful that they're going to take my idea. So, how do you overcome that when it comes to being a part of a mastermind?
Okay, well, that's a great question. One of the things we do in the masterminds is number one, we sign a contract that we're going to keep all the information within the mastermind. So I'm not going
Mhm,
to share what the information you give me to the world. Okay,
mhm,
that's very important. And also, we have to change our mindset too, because again, we have the mindset, a lot of us, of lack. Right, there's not enough, so I have to take my piece of the pie, right?
mhm,
And but really, there's more than enough, right? And you
mhm,
can be as successful as you want to be, and I can too, right? So we have to learn that if I share with you tips on making $1 million, for instance,
mhm,
it doesn't mean I won't make $1 million, right? Because it's not like you're taking part of mine, right?
mhm,
Or people say it sometimes. Well, what if they get my customers? Now, to think that way is a limited beliefs, limited thinking,
mhm.
because there are 8 million people out there. I mean, 7 billion people out there. So no one can take your customer, right?
Mhm.
Right?
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No one can take your customer. There's so many out there. So to think that we're fighting for the same people is not it's not true, right? So part
Mhm.
of it is changing the mindset of people before they even get into the mastermind, so they can realize the benefits of sharing your knowledge.
Mhm.
If I share my knowledge with you, teach you everything I know on sales,
Mhm.
everything I know, and you go out and you have massive success, and you're telling everybody how what I did for you, right? So
Mhm.
what's going to happen is people are going to come to me and say, "Well, can you do for me what you did for Michelle?" Right?
Mhm.
Now, if you teach me about TV production, because I mean, you're on TV, you do interviews,
Mhm.
now, and you teach me everything you know, right? And I go out there and I use the information and I create this big network, it doesn't take away from what you're doing. And
Mhm.
I'm there and I'm telling everybody about how you helped me, and now people are coming to you to get help, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, so my point is we learn to share our knowledge, to share our capabilities in these groups to
Mhm.
benefit others, and we get the same benefit, even more from everybody else.
Love that. I mean, I think that is really a good point, but that is a big reframe for
Yes.
some people.
Yes.
Because, I've been a part of masterminds where people are in the same industry. Some of them were there in different industries. So for somebody starting out, do you recommend it? Does it make a difference who's in your mastermind?
Well, with the masterminds that I do, that we're doing, it's a variety of folks, right? Different
Mm-hmm.
industries. If if you have a mastermind of 20 people, and
Mm-hmm.
let's say you are a vitality coach, and there's another vitality coach, that to me that's not competition. You learn from each other. You see, I mean, that I don't see that as competition at all. You learn
Mm-hmm.
from each other. Like you can learn from her, and she can learn from you. So
Mm-hmm.
it actually you can collaborate and do things together.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's what one thing I want to say. Like I've run different masterminds. I run a meetup group right now for entrepreneurs that come in and talk about their products and services. And I hear that all the time. Well, Eric, is there anybody else in the group that does what I do? And then the first thing I say is, oh, I'm curious. Why do you want to know that? Well, because if there is, then I can't show up. And I say, and
Mm-hmm.
to me, I like, wow, like you said, I have to reframe their mind. I have to reframe
Mm-hmm.
their mind. If you do the same thing I do, right? And we're
Mm-hmm.
both in the same group, no matter how good I am, some people will relate to you and won't relate to me. And they will call you and they won't call me, and vice versa,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to learn to be yourself, be your authentic self, and some
Mm-hmm.
people will be attracted to what you have to say, attracted to what you have, what you do, regardless of who's in there. I give an
Mm-hmm.
example of we have some folks in our group that are coaches, like life coach, right,
Mm-hmm.
or things of that nature. Now, technically, their competition is someone like Anthony Robbins,
Mm-hmm.
but if I want one-on-one coaching from a life coach, I'm not calling Anthony Robbins. He'll probably charge me $1 million.
Right.
Right? I'm not going to Anthony Robbins. The money I have is not sufficient to get that much of his time. Right.
Mhm,
So that's why I said there's no competition. Everybody's different. I'll go to the person
mhm,
I can relate with. I'll of course go to the person that I can afford, like different reasons for that. So when
mhm,
people get it though, when they get it, it's life changing. And I'm sure you would agree.
mhm,
When you get it, that giving information, I do a lot of videos and people are like, you give so much information in your videos.
mhm,
And because my goal is I want to give you so much information that I could charge for it, but I'm not.
mhm,
So if you do come to me for coaching, you're going to get a lot more. So it's worth
mhm,
it to pay some money, because if I could get that for free, imagine what I could get if I pay, right? So
mhm.
yeah.
I love that, and, I mean, you brought up a lotta different, points that we could probably be here all day with. We have somebody, who commented and said that this is very insightful and, that they have the first time of understanding of what a mastermind is. So I think this is good because, there's a lot of people that may be in that space. It's a buzzword. We hear about Think and Grow Rich and a lot of other books that highlight the value of masterminds, but having that insight on how it's supposed to benefit us and serve us, I think is so important. It's just like we have a lot of these social media apps, and knowing the strategy behind it, I say, is the most important, because you'll be on every new trend, but is that trend really serving you? Should you be with every trend,
Exactly.
depending on your industry that you're in? So I think it's really good to kind of start with the basics. So, I love the fact about the idea of abundance, and I tell this to my children, even, that there are more than one hamburger place. Okay. And even the one chain of McDonald's, for example, has one on every corner,
Yeah.
and it's the same restaurant,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
think we have to get out of this mindset of believing that, everybody can't do what we're doing. I heard this gentleman about a week ago, and he said the important thing is to distinguish yourself, or you'll extinguish yourself,
Wow.
right? So we have to figure out, with the sea of everybody being the same, how can we be a little different? And so this is some of the things that a mastermind can help us kind of fine tune, right? We can kind of figure out what's our unique selling proposition. How can we deliver sales in a more meaningful way? How can we create a more extensive customer journey? I mean, just a number of things. So,
Yes.
um, for somebody who is kind of on the fence about masterminds, what advice would you give them about, how to get started? What immediate benefit do you think somebody who is, maybe their business isn't where they want it to be,
Mhm.
or they haven't even started their business. They've been talking to friends, and they
Yeah.
just don't know, they don't have a business, or their business is kind of stagnant. What advice would you give them?
Well, one thing that separates the average entrepreneur with the entrepreneur that's in a mastermind is that the entrepreneur that's in a mastermind can ask questions. We have what we call hot seats, where you
Mhm.
literally can ask the group a question, and everybody in the group that has experience on that topic can actually answer your question. So I'll give you an example. I joined a high level mastermind. I paid a lot of money to be in the mastermind. And I'm sitting there thinking, I hope I get enough out of this. And there were three ladies that were going to get on the hot seat. The first lady asked this question. She said, it's hard for me to fill my events. I do events online. Sometimes I get 3 people, sometimes I get 4 people, and I just don't know what to do. And what she had was about 8 or 9 different people told her what they do to be successful at online events. I took a whole page of notes, and I said to myself, I just wrote $100,000 worth of notes
Mhm.
because I've never had a problem filling my events after hearing the answers to her question. It wasn't even my question.
Mhm.
And think about it. Every time you meet, there are people that are on the hot seat. Every time you meet, you're going to talk about a topic that some people have experience with. So it's hard to comprehend if you've never been in one. It's really
Mhm.
hard to comprehend. But once you try it out and you see the benefit, you will never want to get out. Like never. Yeah, because
I love that.
you literally have an unfair advantage when you're in a group like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Can I share with you a benefit that I got from this from the mastermind?
absolutely.
All right. So I was in a group. I took a course from this gentleman. He taught video marketing. Okay, this is
Mhm.
before I got on video, right? And while he was talking, he talked about how he learned so much from a mastermind, and he kept saying
Mhm.
mastermind, mastermind, right? So I said, okay, what's this mastermind about? So I asked him, and he said, oh, and he told me about it. And then he introduced me to somebody who has a mastermind. I got in that mastermind. In the mastermind, in the first week or so of the mastermind, a lady she wrote a book, and I was congratulating her on her book.
Mhm.
So she said, "Do you have a book?" I said, "No." She said, "Why not?" I said, "Well, I don't know. I just don't know where to start to write a book." She said, "Okay." She said, "That's no excuse." She said, "Do you want to write a book or not?"
Mhm.
She was blunt, right? I said, "Actually, I do." So she showed me, she told me what to do. She introduced me to a course that I can take. And within 4 months, I had a book on Amazon. It became a bestseller. And now people are buying my book from Australia, South Africa, all over the world, and I'm getting checks every month from Amazon. And I never even thought, well, I thought of writing a book, but I never took any steps before I met her in the mastermind. Right.
Mhm.
Another lady was talking about how she built her dream home, right, from ground up, and she actually paid less than she would have if she bought a similar home. I didn't know that was possible. I thought
Mhm.
if you build a custom home, it's going to be way more expensive than just buying a house. So
Mhm.
because of that, I did some research, and I ended up building our dream home right on the beach, right by the beach, on a golf course, Jack Nicholson golf course, and it
Wow.
was less expensive than the house I was looking to buy. That was like 15, 14 years old, right?
Wow.
Now I would have never known that had I not met this lady who shared what her
Mhm.
business has allowed her to do in the
Mhm.
mastermind, right?
Mhm.
I would have never met her. And if I
Mhm.
did, she wouldn't share that with me, right? So those are just a few things. I mean, I can go on the
Yeah.
benefits. But and then even in fact, the person who introduced me to doing courses, to creating courses, I met in a mastermind. And
Mhm.
I created a course, which generated me a lot of income. And then I created a coaching program. So I already had the knowledge, but I didn't know how to package it and
Mhm.
and sell it, right? Even though you can sell, you have to know how to put it together so it's
Yeah.
of value to people, right? So again, if I didn't join the mastermind, I would have no clue. I
Right.
it's like walking around blindly.
So true. And Paulette says mastermind should be master share. And I think that is so true because, people just are open with their experiences. But one of the things that I do want to highlight that you mentioned is asking questions. And I think this is so important because, you know, when we are going through this whole thing of deciding that we want to have a higher goal, we usually are telling ourselves stuff, you know, I should do this, I need to do this, or whatever. But when you start asking questions, it really puts you in action, right? It's just a different uh, state of mind, right? Because if you're telling yourself stuff, that's you talking about what you already know and you're not learning anything new. But if you're asking questions, you're open to where you're able to hear some different insight to make some different choices.
Yes.
So, another thing with asking questions is the ability to compound time, is what I call it, because you can hear different perspectives. However, I think this only works if you're in action, right?
Yes.
Because you're going to ask different questions based on the fact that you're moving and you have that accountability piece. So if I say, oh, I want to be a speaker, and people start telling me their experiences, and they're like, well, I started with a signature talk or whatever, or I used my book as my first speech. You got to take some kind of action so you'll know what to ask. How long should your talk be? How did you get started? And I find that with a mastermind, there's that accountability where it's like you're in the hot seat, people pour into you. So what are you going to do with it? You just kind of have this accountability that you have to take action. You're not going to come back to the next week and people ask you about your experience and then you don't have anything to share because you're not taking action. So I think it's kind of like this underlying current also of that accountability. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. Well, for me, I believe in everything you do, you have to take action. Like, um, people talk about manifesting,
Mhm.
right? And people talk about positive imagery, attraction, attracting success, and I believe in all of that. However, once you have to do that in combination with action by doing something.
Mhm.
If you don't work towards your goal, you won't accomplish it, right? There's no shortcut to success.
Mhm.
There's no shortcut to success. Now you can have what we call a unfair advantage by joining a mastermind, but you still have to do the work when they tell you. Like the
Mhm.
book I'm talking about, I still did a lot of work to put it together, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But I was helped along because I was in the mastermind. So
Mhm.
yeah, taking action is crucial in any business in anything in life, really, you got to do
Mhm.
the work. You can't be lazy and be successful. You can leverage your time. Like there's systems you can use online to leverage your time. I can do
Mhm.
one video, cut it into shorts, put them in different LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, right? I leverage my time and I have
Mhm.
more people seeing it, but I still have to do the video.
Yeah.
I still have to do the video, right?
So
So
true. So that brings up another question, and I can't believe we're almost at the end of time. So, the thing that I would say is, why pay for a mastermind? Because I think a lot of people are like, you know what? I have a group of friends and we are just fine. We get together once a month or weekly or whatever. Why would somebody pay for a mastermind?
that's a great question. You know, before joining a mastermind, I had a lot of friends,
Hmm.
but none of my friends would meet me once a week or every 2 weeks to tell me, to give me advice on whatever I'm asking about, or to share with me stories of how they've accomplished something, right?
Hmm.
It's not, when you have a friend, your friend has no obligation to share information with you, to give you tangible information that can help you, right? Mastermind
Hmm.
is different. We all have an obligation to help each other. In
Hmm.
fact, there is a bit of a like a unwritten competition. Who can give the most value? Who can give the most value, right? So when you're on a mastermind and all these people are giving you great things, information, you're thinking, what can I share that can go make people go wow, right? Right? Wow. One guy was in our mastermind, and he's a online marketer. He's an email marketer,
Hmm.
and he said, when you send an email, what's the percentage of people that open up the email? So people said 15, 10, 20. He said, how would you like to make it 60? People were like, 60? How's that? He said, simple. And he showed us how, when you send an email and you get 20% to open it, then you take the 80% that didn't open it, you change the subject line of that. So maybe the first subject line, they didn't like it. You change the subject line, you put the same email in there, you send it out to those folks. Then you have 20% of those folks open it. Then you take the rest of the people, the 60,
No,
you change the subject line, and I was blown away.
now that's a good use of time.
And here's the thing. I was blown away. I
Yeah,
did it the next day. I had 65% of my email list open my emails.
that's good
I'm
stuff.
like, I would have known that. People don't share stuff like that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like they don't share that. He said those are one of the things he shares in his course, and he
Hmm.
wants to share it with us. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
So
I mean,
yeah, your
I
friend
love
won't just call you and tell you that.
and I love that because that's definitely his mindset already is reframed.
Mhm.
Because most people are like, "Ah, I only have 20%." They give up on sending emails at all
Mhm.
because they only have 20%. So then they stop even sending emails,
Yeah,
right? But this
exactly.
person is still, yeah. So this is good. All
Mhm.
right. So we do have a question.
Okay.
How do you organize all the information you gain from your mastermind class? Also, how long is the mastermind class? Hours,
Okay.
days?
Okay. So yeah, so let me be specific. So our mastermind that we have put together, that we are promoting actually right now, and we already have a lot of applications. If you want to apply, you can. It takes place twice a month. Okay, it's about an hour and a half, and about an hour and a half twice a month. How do you organize the information? I organize it in booklet and notebooks. But then again, I'm old school. Okay, you guys may organize it on your phone. I
I'm,
organize it
I'm
in
old
notebook.
school too. I'm
I
old
love my
school too.
notebooks, right? I organize it in notebooks, and I organize it by category, by information. So I have a sales category, marketing. I have
Mhm.
financial. I'll tell you this real quick. A guy in a mastermind was talking about the deductions that he gets, that from that his CPA told him about.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, my CPA, like, he doesn't give me those deductions. So then he kept talking. Anyway, I reached out to him afterwards. I said, who's your CPA? So he told me. I contacted the company, and they have been working with me now for 2 years, saved me tens of thousands of dollars.
Love
And
that.
that wasn't a mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So is it worth the money? Absolutely. I did a post where I said I 10x my income through a mastermind, and
Mm-hmm.
people thought probably I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. I'm not.
Right.
I mean, the examples I've given you so far shows you how much I've saved in a
Right.
mastermind. So
And it's very
it's
practical.
not an expense at all.
Yeah.
It's an investment. Yeah, and to be clear, it's not free.
Right.
Number one, our mastermind is not free. Number two, it's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And we quite frankly don't want everybody, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, like some people, they have limiting beliefs. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are very negative, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
want a negative person. That's why we do interviews, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can just put up a website. I can just put up a website, do webinars every day and say, go sign up, go sign up, go sign up.
Right.
But then I won't have the caliber of people that's going to really help you,
Mm-hmm.
right? We want the caliber of people that have something to share and also want to ask him questions. You have to have something of value to share.
Mm-hmm.
That is a prerequisite, right? We don't
Now,
want a whole bunch of people just sitting around just getting information. No, we want everybody to contribute.
so true. So how long is the mastermind class? That's the other part of the question.
How Yeah, an hour and a half. She said
Mm-hmm.
one day, yeah, so twice a week for about for an
Mm-hmm.
hour and a half. Yeah.
Twice a month.
Twice a month, sorry. Twice a month. Twice a month. Yeah. 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 She's like, I thought you said it 6 times a week. Yeah. Twice a month. Twice a month. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Love
Supermom does not have enough time to do twice a week.
Oh Lord, I probably need to be in there twice a week. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But well, this has been a great conversation, and we want to thank you, Sashiana, for your questions and your insight and shares, and everybody else who has been here with us. We are offering a mastermind, so I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Eric, to share a little bit more about that, and we will put the link here in the thread of this live event. So
Yes.
over to
Yes.
you.
Yeah. So we are putting together a mastermind for entrepreneurs, Entrepreneur Insiders Network, a mastermind for entrepreneurs. And it will start soon. It's going to start at the beginning of September. However, we are already taking applications. Okay. So once you fill out the application, just a one-page application, then we call you for an interview if you think you'll be the right fit. Then we actually share with you everything you get. So everything I've said so far is a lot, but you actually get more than that. But we
Mhm.
can't share everything because, again, it's an exclusive mastermind. So we don't want everybody to actually know what you're going to get until you're in front of us and we feel that you're a right fit. So
Mhm.
so all you do is fill out the application, then we call you for the interview and give you more information on the mastermind. And one thing I will say too is, so I've been running masterminds for years. I've been in masterminds. I'm in 2 masterminds right now, some high level masterminds. Success in business, sometimes it feels like a combination, a lock combination. And in a lock combination, there's several numbers you need to open it. Okay. So
Mhm.
you may need to go all the way here for 20 and then go back to a 2 and then go to a 48. A lot of people throughout their career in business, they never are able to open up that lock. They have maybe 1, 2, or 3. They don't have the fourth, or they don't have the third and the fourth. And the
Mhm.
reason they don't have the third and the fourth is because they haven't associated themselves with the right people to be able to get the number right. So when you're in a mastermind, you'll find out if maybe you need to learn about sales, marketing, promotion, right? Maybe you need to learn more about your taxes, whatever it is. That's where you find it out, and you're able to unlock the lock and start having the success that you truly deserve and desire.
Love that. I think that is so important. And, it's a choice, I think, at the end of the day. A lot of the things that we go through in life, we kind of feel like this is how it's always going to be, but we can change that scenario. And it starts with masterminds. I have been talking to people over the past week about mindset. And one of the examples I share is that, you know, if you just let your mind have racing thoughts, it's going to always have racing thoughts until you put something else in there, right? So if you're having racing thoughts and you're thinking about negative things and you keep uh, migrating to negative things, you're never going to have anything positive in your mind.
Yes.
So it takes work to put positive things in a negative mind. And I mean, I can only know from my own experience. And so masterminds are kind of like the same thing. You are planting what you want to reap in your mind. Otherwise, it's just going to be whatever, whatever's on the news,
Hmm.
whatever's on the movies, whatever's on the radio. But you have to be intentional with that. And so taking the time to nurture what it is that you want to harvest for yourself, it takes work and it takes dedication, commitment, and investing in you. So I just want to add that as well.
Absolutely. And
Mm.
on another thing too, one of the rules in our masterminds, no negativity. It's
Mhm.
all positive.
Mm.
No negativity, no drama, none of that,
Mhm.
because we have enough of that in life, right?
Right.
I tell people, if something's really bothering you, and it's it's bothering you, just put it together in a ball, open up a closet, put it in the closet, close the closet,
Mhm.
come back, be positive for an hour and a half. Then you can go grab it if you want when you're
Right.
done. But here we're positive because we're helping each other grow, learn, and grow.
Absolutely. All right. Well, our next time with you guys will be this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be on LinkedIn in Clubhouse. So it's an audio event talking further about these benefits and hearing some success stories from people that might want to join us on stage. So, is there any other point that we might have mentioned, Eric, that you want to share before we go?
No, the only thing is, if you're serious about it, you want to take your business and life to a whole new level, click on the link, fill out the application. It's first come, first serve. And by the way, even though we start next month, we may fill it up by in a few days. So,
Mhm.
the people that, the early bird catches the worm, as they say. People that fill it out now are more likely to be in that mastermind. Yeah.
Love that.
And
All
then
right.
also you'll have like 20 people or 19 other people in the group with you. So again,
Yeah.
think about all those high achieving entrepreneurs that can pour into you as you're also sharing with them.
So true. I think that is the best thing because I know when I was going through my challenges and my own journey, it was just me, right? Talking to myself. I wasn't hearing nobody else but myself. So when you're able to broaden that perspective where you're seeing so many different vantage points, it really helps you realize that a lot of the things that had you stuck were really not even that big at all. My mom used to tell me, "Stop making a mountain out of a molehill." Well,
Yes.
when you're around a lot of people, you're like, "Man, that's nothing but a speed bump." I was really
Yep.
thinking it was a mountain.
Yes. Yes. You're right. You're right.
So, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you those who uh, came and enjoyed this time with us. Share this with other people if you got some value out of it. Reach out to us. Click on that link. Fill out that application. We would love for you to join the mastermind. But in the meantime, have an amazing day, and we will see you guys this Sunday.
All right. Take
Bye,
care.
everybody.
Bye bye.